EOS is centralized. Hey everybody, this is Colin, and this is Colin Talks Crypto. If you've been around the crypto space for a little while, you've probably heard the most common accusation leveled against EOS, and that is that it is centralized. In this short episode, we're going to cover the topic of EOS and decentralization. And I sifted through some video clips and found exactly where Dan talked about why he chose 21 block producers for EOS. Thank you for joining me. All right, and here is Dan Larimer, CTO of block.one, creator of EOS.
Centralization is like anything, it comes with costs, and it's a solution to a problem. Decentralization isn't what we're after. What we're after is anti-censorship and robustness against being shut down. So in reality, now there's perception of decentralization and the reality of decentralization. If you go from 1 to 2, you're twice as decentralized. In order to double decentralization again, you got to go to 4. And so you have to measure this on a log scale. So if you take log of the number of people that are able to censor the network, you find that Steem, BitShares, and EOS will be 2 or 3 times more decentralized on a log scale than Bitcoin when you look at the number of mining pools. And Ethereum is even more centralized than Bitcoin. BitShares 1.0 introduced the first version of DPoS with 101 block producers that were all elected by approval voting. And then BitShares 2 or Graphene reduced the number from 101 to a user-defined number, so that as people vote, they can vote. If they vote for more, then there will be more. If they vote for less, there will be less. And that gives you an idea of how many people the community is actually able to vote for. And what we saw was that when the community is in control of the quantity, it stayed around 15 people or so. So with Steem, I made the decision to just hard code it to 21, which would be more decentralized than the community was doing on its own BitShares, because that was about the throughput of the attention and the ability of people to vote. The other thing with the original version of BitShares and 101 different producers was that you had Sybil attacks. You had the same person creating multiple accounts because it wasn't possible for the community as a whole to vet all of them and see, are these actually the same person or not? So even though there was, in theory, 101, in practice, there was only about 20 or so real people, each of which were running about 4 or 5 of the different producer slots. And so now with EOS, we're also using 21, although it's possible for the community to upgrade without having to do a hard fork to any number of producers, because it's all dynamic and controlled by the WebAssembly. You've got every stakeholder has the ability to vote and achieve decentralized control more with delegated proof of stake than you do with proof of work. Proof of work, it's self-selecting. Only those with the capital and location and to get government subsidized electricity and the like are the only ones that can participate. Whereas with DPoS, everyone has a say in what's going on. So we've decentralized control, and so made that aspect of things more scalable.
So the idea with decentralization is really about accountability, auditability. It's about making sure that the data is public so that everyone has complete access to the data to verify it. You can think of a radio station that broadcasts all the transactions to the entire world. Everyone's got a copy. Everyone can come to a consensus on what it is. The challenge with all these systems is how do you determine what gets to go on the air? And in all the different protocols, on like EOS, Steem, and BitShares, you got 20 different people that take turns, equal opportunity to put something on the air, and they're elected by thousands or tens of thousands of individual stakeholders. In proof-of-work like systems, you've got 2 or 3 mining pools that are determining what are going on the air, and they're not evenly distributed. One of them might have 30%, the next one will have 20%. They're kind of distributed according to the Pareto principle. And they're the ones that are the DJs controlling what goes on the air. They're the gatekeepers. So that's centralization of the right to publish. My belief is that true decentralization is the free market. It's the ability to have lots of different blockchains competing with each other, because only the market is open entry, anyone can enter into it. It's very difficult to censor because someone just starts a new chain. So having many different blockchains, each operated by different groups, all competing to earn the trust of the users. It's the competition to earn trust that will drive value, and competition that keeps people honest, and that's the ultimate decentralization. Having any one platform rule them all would be centralized in its own right.
All right, guys, you heard it from the man himself, Dan Larimer, about why he chose 21 block producers. It was a result of trial and error through his various platforms of BitShares and Steem, and he does have a lot of experience to draw upon there. And you heard how he started originally with 101 block producers and worked his way down from there as he realized the realisticness of people actually taking the time to vote for that many block producers, and it wasn't happening. So he pushed it up to 21 block producers from the average of about 15 that people were actually voting for. So it was this combined with finding that perfect middle ground between decentralization and throughput. Because decentralization is not the end goal. Decentralization for the sake of decentralization alone is not the goal. And I think that's a common misconception in the cryptocurrency space. We have all these accusations leveled about, this is not decentralized, this is too centralized. What do we need it for? And when you look at that, I feel Dan took the most practical, pragmatic approach to solving the problem, which was determine how much decentralization is necessary to ensure censorship resistance, and then maximize throughput on top of that base minimum. Not, let's maximize decentralization so we can brag and boast about how we're the most decentralized platform, but we can only do like 15 transactions per second and no dApps can actually build on our platforms. So that is the reason why platforms are migrating to EOS. That's why dApps are moving to EOS, and why they will continue to do so, because it has the throughput capacity to handle their platforms, and it has enough decentralization to ensure censorship resistance. Okay, guys, I hope that cleared up some things for you. Send this video to anyone that claims EOS is centralized, because that's just a black and white answer that doesn't take into account a lot of factors that are important here. I hope you're having a great day. Please like this video, please share it with your friends, please subscribe, please hit that bell icon for further notifications, and I hope you're having a great day. Talk to you later.